Welcome to Scrapbooking Beautiful Layouts by Locky Creations. Hey my pretties, it's Locky Creations back, bringing you a tutorial on how I created this lovely page just to give you a sneak peek before we get started. This is the second page of my Sunday Best or Busy as a Bee themed layouts. Hopefully you caught my last video, which I featured this layout, Busy as a Bee. Pictures were taken the same day as the photographs in this layout. So stay tuned for all about how I created this part 2 layout. Before we get started with the layout, I'm going to show you how you can make a custom stencil using a dollar store placemat. So I've got this placemat. It comes in a pack of 2 from Dollar Tree. Currently $1.25 is the price. And I've got my ruler and my pencil. And I'm grabbing just a strap piece of paper that I'm going to use to draw out the shape of the layout. I'm going to be doing a diamond shape or trapezoid shape for this stencil. So on that black piece of paper, I'm just going to go ahead and measure out the size that I want my stencil shape to be. And I'm using my mat that has the grid lines just to help me be able to size that out. This paper, as you can see, is a 3x5 size. So my diamond, what I'm doing is I'm finding the center point and I'm just marking off the center so that then I could just draw and connect all the points together. And that's going to help me find the center and have equal sides on all of my shapes. So with my ruler and my pencil, I am just connecting all of those sides that I have drawn now that I know my center. And that will be my template. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out using my cutting tool. And that will give me, again, the shape of my stencil. So what I want to do is bring this clear placemat back. And I'm going to go ahead and just trace the outer part of that mat or trim that down with my X-Acto knife and my ruler just to have a smaller work surface. Now again, because these mats are so economical, I can save the rest of it for another project. So really good piece of material to use when you want to do a basic shape and have a stencil for that. So as you can see, I'm just cutting out that excess, just leaving about a 1/2 inch on each side so that I can make this a true stencil. So now I'm just going to go ahead and place a magnet and place this on my magnetic board just so that I can hold it in place. And I'm just outlining the shape with my pencil. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring back my self-healing mat as well as a ruler. And I'm going to just use my ruler and my X-Acto knife to just cut out the middle portion of that shape, which will be my stencil. And so here I am cutting that out now. And because the stencil, this mat is pretty thick, you know, you do have to put a good amount of pressure down, but this will make that mat last. So this is definitely a great hack for creating your own custom stencils. Okay, so again, I'm just working with it to just get that center out, connecting the points, and there you have it. I have created my own stencil. Now I just went over the edge a little bit, as you can see, with my X-Acto knife, so I'm just taping that up. But now I have my stencil. Okay, so now that I have that stencil created, I've selected paper that I want to use to be my background for my page. So I'm using that stencil and my pencil to go ahead and draw out those shapes. And I'm just doing that on one of the colors, and then I'm grabbing another page so that I can cut out multiple shapes at one time. And you can see that stencil gave me exactly what I wanted. So that was definitely a great money and time saver to create that stencil. So next I'm going to go ahead and do some mixed media on the back of my page. I'm using a white base sheet of cardstock and white texture paste. I've gone ahead and kind of placed the shapes where I want them on my page. So with my texture paste and my stencil, I am just adding some texture to the back of my cardstock. And because I've drawn out the area where I know that my shapes will go, I don't have to focus on the center. I just want to add some dimension around. Now you can see I had a little bit of color in my stencil from my last project, but that actually helped. I did not clean my stencil very well, so I got some of that residual color. But for this project, it didn't really matter, so I'm going to go with it. Now I had just purchased these supposed to be watercolor crayons or markers. These I purchased from one of my little local department stores. They were about $5 or $6. They are not the best quality, but they serve the purpose just to do some basic watercolor. So you see me here using some packaging, using some water, my paintbrush, and even my fingers to just create some mixed media in that turquoisey greenish color. And I'm just working that around just the perimeter of where my image would be, and I like the way that this turned out. Just wanted to do some mixed media, and you see me there at my paper towel roll just daubing some up so that the color is just a little bit less vibrant. I did not prep my page with gesso because this was just something quick that I wanted to do. I didn't want to make too much fuss over this page. I just wanted to get some color under there. So I'm drying up the page as I go with my hairdryer tool. And I want to add some purple as well. So I'm just adding a little bit of purple in some spots because I will have purple in my photograph also. So again, I am just creating a little area behind where my background will go on this page, and I like the way that this turned out. So now I'm bringing back my diamond shapes, and I'm going to put them down where I want them to go. Once I'm satisfied with that, I'm gluing each one down in place. I'm leaving about 1/4 of an inch or so in between each shape. In my previous layout, I did add those strips of golden yellow paper between each image, but I will not do that here. So that's why I'm leaving the little white space in between each one, and using my brayer over my clear mat to smooth that down, and I will trim the excess that hangs off the edge. And there is my background. So now I'm bringing back my photos. I have 4 photos again of the scene of my daughter and myself one Sunday after church during the summer. And so this is where the purple comes in, the purple in my outfit. I'm going to back this on some pinkish purple cardstock just to be my photo mats, just because I wanted to get a little bit of a brighter color just to make it pop. And you're only going to see a tiny bit of that peeking out. I will rough the edges of those up after I get everything glued down, but I'm just creating some basic photo mats here. My photograph sizes are 3 by 5 size or 3 by 6 size. And typically I would not, spend so much time doing mixed media if I'm using this many photos. But again, I try to find the balance of the art and incorporate all the photos. At this point, I realized that the 4th photo was really not necessary, and I'm actually going to save that for another solo layout. So I just decided to go with 3 pictures. I just thought the 4 was going to overcrowd it here. And because my previous page I used 3 photos, I want to be cohesive. So now I am just placing those photos down, and you see me moving them around a bit, trying to figure out the placement. Again, because I have 3 photos that are significant size, I don't want to cover up all of that pretty background, but I want to have some of that light purple textured paper, or excuse me, patterned paper peeking out between my photos on the right. So again, I'm just having a time placing things where I want them to go. And then when I'm satisfied, again, I'm just brayering them down in place and smoothing everything down. So now I'm happy with that placement. So here comes the fun part, the embellishing part. So I'm just cleaning up a little bit some of those pencil marks. So I've gone through and picked out some embellishments, some jewels. I have these cute little bunny punch that I definitely want to add some bunnies since our pet bunny is featured in the layout as well. So I wanted to add some of those little pinkish purple bunnies around the page. And so I'm just going to build photo clusters where I'm going to put those little bunnies and different embellishments on the page. And I'm actually bringing in also this flower punch. I'm going to create some flowers. And one of the effects that I'm going to do on my flowers is I am going to use some product that's going to allow me to give some texture to those flowers. So I'm going to go ahead in 2 colors and create some of those flowers. Then I'm going to be using some Mod Podge Dimensional Magic gel just to give a clear texture on top of those flowers. And you'll see that better in the close-ups at the end of the video. But right now I'm just developing those flowers. And I'm going to go about 2 or 3 layers for each flower. And again, I'm not really curling up the edges too much. I will be kind of doing that with my finger. But I want to create 3 flowers, so I'm doing them in various shades of the purple and the yellow and some pattern paper as well. I'm putting jewels in the center of each of those flowers, and I'm putting them around my page. Now each floral cluster will have one of those little bunnies near it too. I decided I wanted to have a border using this pretty decorative border trim, so I'm going ahead and cutting that out. I believe that's a Martha Stewart punch, and I'm going to trim that a little bit and just distress the edge just to kind of have that element peeking off on that left hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down, and I will have florals and clusters around that. I thought that was a nice touch for the page. So this little yellow triangle was actually the edge that I cut from that shape at the bottom. Thought it would work good right there, so I'm building a embellishment cluster around that, as well as the pink one from the other side. So I'm repurposing some of my trimmed paper just to kind of help me build my clusters. And I'm liking the way this is looking so far. I think this is a very pretty page, and it complements the design in the previous layout that I showed you earlier. So I really am liking this. This is very purple. This is very girly. This is, I don't know if it's summer so much. It may be kind of spring, but I think spring and summer elements can kind of go together. So anyway, I am just placing everything down, and now I'm bringing in some of those jewels, and these were jewels that I purchased, jewel stickers from dollar store quite a while ago. I'm also bringing in other purple flowers. These particular ones that I'm looking at now were the Vicky Bouton Color Study florals, as well as some more Dollar Tree purple florals, and just adding some more florals to this beautiful page. I will also be adding in a few little dots or crystals or little shimmery elements just to give it some more shine. And I am very, very happy with where this is going. So here's where I finally put those little dots around the perimeter just to kind of give it another little shape there on the end. And I'm loving this page. This page is very pretty. I'm very satisfied with this. So for my title is going to be Sunday Best. So I have these purple sparkly letters, and I'm going to put them in a vertical strip just on the perimeter of my picture. So I'm putting the Sunday down, starting with the bottom of the word Sunday. It may not be 100% straight, but I like the way that it looks, so I'm satisfied. Now for the best, I'm going to turn that to the side. I'm going to use these smaller purple bling stickers, and I figured I better turn it around because I realized I did not have that straight at all. I want it to be somewhat straight. So I'm going to put the word best just along the other side of that. And I did find another sticker that I'm going to use just on the outside edge. But I'm just going through my faith-based sticker packs and grabbing some stickers to place around. I'm going to add this phrase that is a Bible verse, Esther 4:14. Perhaps this is the moment for which you have been created. And so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use, you'll see me here in a moment after I finish this little floral piece. This is where I found that phrase, and I stuck it down right there. And I found this little glory, purple glory, so I put that on there, and now I am picking up that little hashtag blessed sticker. And I saw the cross, the purple cross. I like that. I put that at the top of my best since this is a Sunday best. We were in our Sunday best after church. So adding in some more of these faith-based stickers. And this is where I saw that rendered, the word rendered with the arrow pointing down to the verse, Esther 4:14. And I really, really love that. So here's where I am bringing in that Mod Podge gel to just give a clear raised texture element to some pieces of my page. And I think this just very heavily elevated the overall look for this page. As you'll see in the close-ups, there is just a lot of texture by adding that clear Mod Podge Dimensional Magic Gel. So here is the final page. I hope you have enjoyed this video and it inspires you to create beautiful things. And here again, you can see that Mod Podge where it lifted up and just added some clear elements and dimension to the page. You can see some on that gray strip there, as well as on these purple flowers. That clear element just made it look so pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderfully blessed day.